To burn these people. I really don't. But the fact is, they're not the same as they used to be. And I'm going to highlight something here. Okay? So minimum of 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, and remaining for a duration exceeding 21 calendar days. Okay? They interviewed me for this contract, they did not disclose the work hours until after it was signed. Right? And I had a previous relationship with this company, and they were not. That was before COVID, and I had a good relationship with the HR lady that was there. But upon return, it was not the same people. So let's roll through this here. So $47 an hour contract, okay, $50 per diem. At the minimum, working 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. Now, usually it's 8 hours. There's variations. It's anywhere between $40 and $60 an hour for a contractor. The $60 is extremely rare. The same with the $50. The $50 per diem is also pretty typical. And accommodations, sometimes the accommodations is not included, and you have to pay for it out of your own pocket. And then there's a lot of different, creative accounting that you have to do in order to, just make ends meet. But as it is, going through this, I did not appreciate the treatment of this company upon arrival. I had other life issues to deal with, and I asked them to give me another week from the interview to showing up, and then I ran out of gas. Come to Sudbury, and you see here, this is before I signed it. Don't go after this guy Daniel Turner. I don't think he has much of any involvement with making these contracts. I really don't know, but nonetheless, this is pretty typical of the industry. Okay, this is neither an accusation nor defamation of these people's character, or my own, or a defamation of this company here. I just want people to understand that if we go down to the determination here, okay, there's a lot of loopholes, and they basically they'll use whatever reasoning that they can as soon as you make a mistake or whatever else, because then it goes down to a standard of work. If they do not conflict with the applicable orders and regulations, airworthiness regulations in force. So that's actually that's a loophole right there. So there's some stuff in this that basically they can fire you for anything. If you don't show up, they'll fire you. If you don't show up on time, they'll fire you, and they don't even need a reason. And then you're SOL, and you have to go home. That's how it is. And there's a lot of people that live like in this gig economy here. That it's very temporary. And again, when I got there, they spoke to me, and I had disclosed other information that I'd visited there previously on the way back from coming from Kelowna, and that again, more further information that when I left the first time I worked there in contract, just before COVID hit. Well, actually, when COVID hit, and I was there working on water bombers for the government. They were white and green water bombers, and we were changing the inside skin from the pylons inwards on the bottom side of the wings. It was a big job, huge job, on 2 airplanes. So, and then that all fell apart. Not too much because of the fault of Springer themselves, but because of COVID and other people. And of course, I won't mention names or anything like that because, to protect the innocent, so to speak. But, I might be just watching too many law shows to know what the hell I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. I'm just a full spectrum idiot. But it is my opinion and my assessment that anything around this rate is not enough because of the taxation that happens afterwards. And you can get away with more as an incorporation, but as a sole proprietor, which is what I've used for most of this time. Not to incriminate myself any further, or I don't know. There's a lot of loopholes and specific information. But if I'm going to be accused of anything, I don't appreciate the treatment that I received. They were very pushy when I got there, the HR staff, and I was trying to get the paperwork out of the way. So that's the SMS, the MPM, the WMIS, and so on and so forth, and human factors, if that was included, and other policy stuff before even touching the aircraft, which is the wisest thing to do, as it goes down here, MPM, SMS, cars, etc. And specific stuff to the aircraft that has to be done. And the same thing happened, there was a lot of pressure at AAR previous to this. I was suffering a bit of burnout. I was under pressure, and I was trying to minimize the amount of time in travel and maximize the amount of time that I had with my family before flinging myself across the country again. I have no complaints about the accommodations or anything like that necessarily for this one. But again, the rates and the impermanent nature of the entire contract is not very, confidence inspiring, and the isolation suffered by the individuals that do these contracts, including myself, is terrible. And something needs to change. There's a lot of people that work at Springer Aviation, and these companies, these AMOs, as good as they say that they are, a lot of them don't put money back into the facility, and the people that work for them suffer. That's all I have to say.